Nye McGee with EURweb.com. Michael, Martyn, thank you for giving me your time today to speak about House of David. And of course, I'll kick things off with Michael. David, as we know, is one of the most complex figures in the Bible. He's a warrior, a king, and also a flawed man. So in your opinion, how does this series bring a fresh perspective to his journey?
Thank you so much, Nye. Yeah, I think just the nature of the way we're telling the story. It's never been done before that a series has been made about the life of King David. And at least in this series, if I'm not spoiling too much about specifically going up to David and Goliath, it lends itself to us being able to explore everything, all the different characters, all the relationships, what it took to get to David and Goliath. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I think just by nature of the way we're telling it, it's going to provide a lot of context and some really entertaining television.
Right on. And Martyn, same question for you. I mean, Goliath is often seen as a villain, but of course, every character has their own perspective. So, in your opinion, same question. How does this series bring a fresh perspective to Goliath's journey?
I think with the opportunity to show a backstory to Goliath was absolutely essential. And it was, I've got to be honest, it was the big selling point to me when I first spoke to the three Johns about the opportunity and the potential to play Goliath. They explained the backstory and explained the turning point and the reasoning behind Goliath's demand for the battle. And it was just intriguing, and hopefully the audience will see that. They'll take some, I don't want to say sympathy, but they'll understand Goliath and take that into account for his actions and ultimately why what happened did. And I think that's what really sets this story up and will bring interest to the audience. The reason, the outcome, and the incredible storytelling throughout.
Now, of course, speaking of the battle, this question is for both of you. The battle between David and Goliath is one of the most famous stories ever told, as we know. What was it like filming that scene, and how did you prepare for such, an intense confrontation? Michael, if you want to kick that off.
Yeah, well, I mean, we think of the Battle of David and Goliath and ultimately remember the sling that took down Goliath, and it took a lot of preparation in terms of learning how the sling works as an ancient weapon of war, but also a tool that was used by shepherds back in the day. Um, and just we had an ancient weapons expert that helped me learn about the sling and how to use the sling, and I relied on my history of shot put and discus in high school to inform the sling, and I think ultimately we came out with a really cool perspective on what this fight was, physically as well as emotionally.
I'll second that. I think the battle between David and Goliath isn't such a battle of physicality. There's not much standing and delivering blows or kicks in what you'd probably presume a battle to be. It was massively emotional, and I think that's what sells this story, and definitely the way that we shot this was the lead up and the power and the purpose and the bravery of David, and that's what the battle was. It was more a battle of minds than a battle of physicality, and I think that's what made this so special. It was hitting each other without physically hitting each other, and it really did resonate on camera, that did, and the struggle and the depth of anger between the two was what was most powerful for myself.
Right on. And I know that's my time, so I'll end by just saying, clearly, Martyn, you were perfectly cast for this role. You certainly have the
Thank you very
physicality.
much, Nana.
You are the right choice.
Thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely evening. Take care.